Oh my God. All I know is, and I'm too lazy to get up, but my book from the witch Toni Adams
How
arrived.
is it? Give us an update.
I'm going to read it.
Oh,
I just got it.
Oh my God.
Mail.
Oh my God.
So I'll let you know. But actually, what am I doing? I got to show this to you. Hold on.
Please do. Please do. I want to see it.
Here it is.
Soul surfing.
But wait,
Danella.
I bought a used copy, and look at this. Can you read that?
For Kathy Ann. Whoa, creepy. May this book bring you the insight to create the freedom and happiness that you truly deserve. I love you. Was that from Danella?
No.
Oh, wait. Love Rebecca.
Who are these people?
Rebecca. Listeners, if you don't know what's happening, our Snow Day episode, in our cold open, we discuss books, and that is one of the books we discuss is this one Bridget's got right here. She has it. The cover's lovely. I love the colors.
Right?
It's very calming. Oh, girl, there she is. A Malibu telepath.
I don't think this is the latest copy. I think I got the old one.
You got the Rebecca version or whatever.
Crazy.
Wow.
Books are great.
Please let me know.
We should read them more.
Let me know how it is.
I will let you know.
I want to go soul surfing. I was going to ask you about your Kevin Bacon painting that I tagged Kevin Bacon in 80,000 times on Instagram.
My God.
And he hasn't answered. Not yet.
So I like to paint, and I have an Instagram account where I paint and I post stuff. And I have a friend who she really she gets jokingly called the Kevin Bacon of Chicago because she really knows everybody, and it's so true. She knows everyone.
Oh, I love that.
And it's like a work networking thing, not just a popular person. And she was like, I just think it'd be silly if you did a little picture of Kevin Bacon and then Chicago. Once you tagged him in that, by the way.
Yeah.
Then I went to be let me tag him in the photo to be check it out. And it was you cannot.
It was probably don't
photo.
Bother Kevin.
I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So then I was like, oh, let me follow him.
Yeah.
And then I still tried something else, and it was please stop contacting Kevin Bacon. And then he posted a story on something, and then I was able to message him on the story to be like, hey, I did a painting of you, Kevin Bacon.
Kevin!
But the funniest part of all of it is because this is an account I don't follow that many people, now the only stories I see are Kevin Bacon every time I open my painting app. So I might have to unfollow him because it's not...
Sounds like a great day.
It's my art vibe. I'm not ready to see Kevin Bacon.
Well, and
he posts a lot.
He likes to post he's playing an instrument and singing a lot with his wife, and they own a farm, and they have all these goats and shit. And I'm like, Kevin,
do you know that I think he lives near Aunt Chris in upstate New York?
What? Should we go? No, too much. We just footloose dance onto the lawn
wow,
we're here.
We really did a 180 from the witch book to Kevin Bacon.
That was me.
Wow.
Actually, it's 6 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon, so everything leads to Kevin Bacon. Danella equals
Bridget painted a painting. Back to Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop. Sisters. Sisters who've seen it.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
I see dead people.
It's scary, Bridge. You're going to scare the listeners.
Are we ghosts and we don't know it?
Okay, that's the question. Is it the question? Yeah, it is. It's the biggest one. So I don't know. But I do know our names. So I'm going to introduce ourselves, listeners, so you know who may or may not be ghosts. Woo! So, listeners, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where 2 sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And I see dead people. They they don't know they're dead. Bruce Willis, you hear
You're
me,
fucking
brother?
dead.
I mean, I kind of, yeah, like, you know, a little Haley Joel Osment didn't want to be direct
Wow.
because he's like 6. But yeah, what's the movie, Bridge?
It is from, what is it from? What is the date? 1999.
Woo!
The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Shyamalan.
Starring Bruce Willis. Starring Haley Joel Osment. Starring Toni Collette.
Oh, thank God.
Donnie Wahlberg makes the most insane cameo.
With the tighty whities, you know.
What? He went method for that.
I believe it.
That family, there is something there. I don't know. They're Wahlburgers. There's something there.
Oh, people don't forget the Wahlburgers. They're in Philly, by the way. Oh my God, Philly
there's something. I don't know. I don't know about that.
That's a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon connection to Philly right there. Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
Wow. This was the time. Oh, it's
your synopsis. Yes, I did Groundhog's Day.
Okay.
Your voice sounds a little better.
Does it sound better?
Yeah. Do you feel better?
We've been doing this in bulk, and I'm so sorry that I've been sick this whole freaking time.
No.
Okay. So we have a movie that, if honestly you haven't seen it for the first time, just shut off this podcast.
Yeah. Honestly,
and go watch it. Because I wish I could watch this for the first time.
Yeah.
But after you've seen it, it is spoiled because there's a big twist.
I just can't imagine that there are people out. I mean, I guess there are people out there who have been able to avoid the spoiler because this definitely became part of the zeitgeist. Actually, funny, just quick story before you dive into things.
Please.
I did make our younger sister Mary watch this. And our younger sister Mary, at one point in time, before Sisters Who've Seen It, listeners, she had never really watched movies. Her favorite movie was Cars, just to give perspective on what kind of movies she was consuming. Anywho, hadn't seen good movies. Sorry, Mary. And so I was like, yo, let's watch The Sixth Sense. She's I've never seen it. And I was like, we're going to fucking watch it. And can I tell you, this bitch knew the twist. She was like, oh, is that what's happening? And I was like, no. And she's like, oh. And then it happened. She's like, I thought you said it wasn't. I was like, well, I didn't want to spoil, even though you knew it. But what the fuck?
So she just figured it out?
She's just smart, okay? She's just
God
smart.
Damn those smarties.
Son of a bitch, smarty. We love you.
I was clueless, I'll tell you, the first time I watched this sucker. But it's all centered around Bruce Willis, who is Dr. Malcolm Crowe. And he is a child psychologist, Katie?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And we, right off in the beginning of the movie, see him get shot by the most insane-looking Donnie Wahlberg I've ever seen, who's I don't know, an anorexic version of Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah.
And then it kind of cuts, and you don't really know, did he die or not? But then he just shows up again, so you're like, all right, cool. And we're in Philly, doing our thing. And we meet Haley Joel Osment, who is Cole. And Bruce Willis and Cole have this doctor-patient relationship. And so he's always trying to figure out what's going on with Cole. And Cole has some fucking issues.
Wow.
I tell you. And he would be what? 7, 8?
Yeah.
How old is he?
Probably one of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cole has an intense secret that nobody believes. And I really understand. He absolutely sees dead people. And they show up all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And they're scaring the shit out of him. And it's horrific. And so everyone thinks he's nuts because they can't see the dead people. And so they're all trying to figure out what's wrong with him. And his mom, because it's just him and his mom is played by Toni Collette, who is, I will say, the best actor of all time.
Why doesn't she have an Oscar yet?
No fucking credit.
Yep.
And I will die on that bed.
Yeah.
She's so good. God, any show she's in, I watch, and I'm just like, why?
She's a scream queen.
She's the Meryl Streep. Why isn't she Meryl Streep? Okay. She was unbelievable. The most believable Philly person I've ever met, ever. I was like, this is Philly.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know what's going on with her son, and crazy shit's happening. And, Bruce Willis tries to help him. And so they go through a series of events where he tries to help him and figure it out. And eventually Cole's like, listen, motherfucker, what do I do? Okay. Like, here's my big bad secret. I see dead people. If you believe me, don't give up on me. Tell me what to do. And then it becomes kind of adorable because he's like, hey, I have an idea of how to like deal with these dead people. Why don't you help them? And then he goes on a crusade about trying to help them. And all the while, Bruce Willis is like, well, my fucking wife won't talk to me. And my life's pretty lame. And I just got shot. I don't know what her fucking deal is. And yada, yada, yada. And then he makes the dots and is like, oh my God, I'm one of the goddamn dead people torturing this little kid. Yes. And holy crap, let me connect that together. And that's the big twist. And it's insane and fun and awesome. And this movie is fucking great.
It's so good. I cried.
It's so good. I cried.
I was emotional. I was like, whoa, Sixth Sense.
Many times. Oh my God. I was the right amount of scared. Katie, this is my kind of horror film.
This is your kind of horror
I got
film.
just a little scared, and then it was like, hey, it's okay, here's the light on. I'm like, thank you.
There's a couple jump scares. Oh,
There is, but I was like prepared for them. Yeah. I remember the movie theater being a little like,
you saw this in theaters?
I watched this in theater, yeah.
Oh, I'm so jealous of that.
Oh, yeah.
That's so fun.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
what'd I miss? Did I hit it?
No, that was great. I mean, it definitely is like an emotional movie. And this was M. Night Shyamalan. He wrote and directed, which is like, you know, a thing he does. But this was his definitely like, magnum opus. I mean, everything kind of went downhill from here.
Well, and it's funny because I was reading a lot about him because I was like, I want to get like his vibe. And it was like, actually, let me pull this up. I wanted to, like, where did he come up with this idea for this? And he said he was at a wake and saw a little boy, like, everyone's like eating and talking. And this little boy was on the stairs just like talking to nobody. And so then his like brain went off and did this. But then some people think he like stole from some books. And there's like, what?
I kind of felt like, did we get a little inspired from Casper? Because he was a ghost therapist. Okay. And I'm just saying, Casper came out early 90s. Okay.
When did Casper come out?
It was like 94, I think. Maybe even 1993 best year for movies, but I don't think it was.
Google Casper and the mattress pops up. 1995.
95. Okay.
Okay. So, to your point on M. Night Shyamalan, he was like fucking crushing it. It was The Sixth Sense.
Yep.
Unbreakable. Signs.
I love
The Village.
Unbreakable.
And it was like 99, 2000, 2002, 2004. Yeah. And then after that was Lady in the Water, 2006. And
that was a rough
downhill.
One. Yeah.
And then went downhill.
His most recent one, Trap, has Josh Hartnett in it as like a serial killer. And it was okay. It was just like really long. But it was fun. So M. Night Shyamalan, we did Signs already. That was like, oh God, that was before we hit 100 episodes. So
holy
I don't know. Y'all can go in the cornfield and find that one. But M. Night does have a reputation for his twisty turns. That's just how he likes to do it. He likes a twisty. And so I think because this was obviously like the first big movie he had, nobody was ready for twisties. Mm-hmm. And I also think people probably expected the twisty to be that the kid is seeing dead people, because that's kind of introduced like halfway through. So you don't really know like what's going on.
I thought, oh, wait. They tell you that, like, midway through the film. Yeah. It's like, I see dead people. I was like, oh, I thought this was right at the end in my memory of it.
Yeah. It's kind of like, oh, that's what's going on. Crazy. But then that's not the twist. The twist is... Did you say the twist? Did you say that? I think you did.
That Bruce Willis was really the dead person?
He's a dead person. Yeah. It's crazy. Oh, my God. It's just done so fucking well. The writing is good. M. Night usually also gets made fun of for, like, really weird dialogue, and I felt like there wasn't as much of it in this movie. But there's also not a lot of characters, which I think probably helped. It's mainly Bruce Willis and Haley Joel Osment, and then Toni Collette, and that's it.
But think about it, like, I know your opinion on kid actors, but those are three heavy hitters.
Like
Toni Collette, Bruce Willis, and
so good.
Unbelievable.
Oh my God. I was like, this kid should have been nominated. And Toni should have won. Toni should have been nominated. Bruce is fine. I mean, he's always good. But like,
You know what's kind of interesting, though? In 1999, I'm just reading this. This was when the Blair Witch Project exploded. 1999. And it was released a week before The Sixth Sense.
Oh.
So maybe we were just like all in the spooky, scary feelies.
I'm ready for a spoop resurrection, people. Okay. Go watch The Substance. Thank you. Nosferatu. You ever heard of him? Go see him.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, M. Night, like, this is just really fucking well done.
So I think we should start with Donnie Wahlberg and getting this insane scene over with.
Yeah.
Who was Method? What?
I don't like that.
So he like walked around being
like annoying and scary?
Like a mental health patient? Like, so what?
Yeah, and he's supposed to be a former... So, okay, Bruce Willis is a child psychologist. Child to me is like 18 and under.
Okay.
Maybe once we hit 18, we change the description, whatever. But like, Donnie Wahlberg's like a man.
No, Katie. This is like, remember when he listened to the tapes? Donnie Wahlberg was a kid. This is him older.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He is an older man now. Yes?
Yeah.
Like, how old do we think the Donnie Wahlberg character was supposed to be?
I guess, that's a good question. Like young 20s?
Oh, you thought young 20s?
What did you think?
I was like, what was that 40-year-old man doing here? But maybe just because he looked like a drowned rat and I was lost. I don't know.
Listen to this. He went to extreme methods to prepare for this role. Fasting, not showering, and living alone in New York. He would only eat steamed cabbage and beet juice, and he would walk all day, and he didn't shower for weeks. Ew. He lost 43 pounds.
Okay, but he had like 4 lines of dialogue. Why did he do that for this role?
And
That's
he
so fucking weird.
He wore underwear that was soiled to look like he hadn't changed it in years.
My point about the age is... My point about the age for the character is that, like, he's basically like, I gotta get revenge because you didn't fix me and ruin my life. And I'm like, but Donnie, you're not a little child boy anymore. He can't do anything. Go bother the adult therapist. Okay, this sounds like a you problem. Sounds like we're blaming other people for our problems, Donnie. Okay, do we need soiled underwear?
You want them, it's crazy inappropriate word? I don't know. You want the person who's not with it to rationalize that they should have gone to an adult therapist?
I just feel like if I was Bruce Willis, I might have tried to give a little bit more real talk. And he instead is like, who are you? Because it's literally been like 87 years since he's worked with this person. He doesn't have any fucking idea who this is. Donnie Wahlberg broke into their Philadelphia giant mansion home.
Row home,
brownstone.
baby. Row homes in Philly. Homes.
Somehow he got on the second floor. We'll never know. And he's
yeah.
How
did he get to the second floor?
The ghosts, I don't fucking know. He's in his undies. And he's like, you didn't help me. I've always been scared. And then he whips out a gun and he shoots Bruce Willis and then he kills himself.
I'll tell you this, Katie. Someone enters the house. You're not ready. Fight or flight?
I'm never ready.
Always flight. Always flight. You gotta run. He would have never got him shot if he just ran out of there. Instead, he sat patiently and talk to him. Why?
Or you throw shit. You start throwing shit because he didn't do any of that. He was just like, was your name Johnny? No, that wasn't it.
Let's take a seat here and think about who this is. Let me go in my archives.
It was like, focus. So the moral of that scene is fund mental health and community resources and ban guns. Thank you. Good night. Okay.
But then what's actually really cool later in the movie is Donnie Wahlberg apparently was also
yes,
like seeing ghosts, and like I'm like, that's cool.
That is cool.
That's this really cool little full circle moment.
So have you ever seen? Did you ever see the movie Split by M. Night Shyamalan?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's kind of like it's about like a guy who has multiple personality disorder. and he like turns into different personalities, but it's like, it's kind of the same vein. It's like thriller, spoopy. But then the follow-up that he did to that was a mix of that character and then Bruce Willis from Unbreakable and Samuel Jackson from Unbreakable. Did you ever see Unbreakable?
No.
Oh, Jesus, Bridge. Now I got to go through the whole M. Night Shyamalan lore.
I mean, it's horror. I don't
In
watch
Unbreakable,
horror.
he basically, like, can't ever get hurt. And so he's like, it's kind of like a superpower, but then Samuel Jackson's like the bad guy who like gets hurt really easily, but he's really smart. And so it's kind of like this little superpower thing. And then like he did a movie basically where he had those three people together, and the whole thing was like, you're kind of like you have superpowers, but like they ruin your life. And I thought of that with this, where I was like, that could be considered like kind of a superpower of like you can talk with dead people.
No.
And it's not just Cole that has it, like Donnie Wahlberg had it too.
Well, I mean, that's like, I don't know. Do you ever see those like famous mediums like Tyler?
Like Danella Bridge? Yeah.
Dania. Who is Danella? What's that, a candle?
I thought that was the writer of the book. I thought that was her name.
Dania. Oh my God. No, and that's what made it so beautiful when he was like, hey, let's rethink about these dead people. Maybe you could help them.
Right.
And that's like really cool.
Yeah.
One of the things when he gets shot and then it's like a scene of him in the bed bleeding with the wife there. And then Donnie Wahlberg just immediately shoots himself. And so you're like, okay. It cuts to him sitting on the bench. And in my mind, I was like, oh, was this like in the past? Or is this like in the future? Because like if that happens in the beginning of the movie, I was like thinking to myself, oh, that could be like what happens at the end of the movie. Like what does he do to get shot at the end? And I was like, wow, that's kind of cool.
I thought the movie said though that it was like the following fall though.
Oh, didn't even pay attention to that.
Okay.
I
think there was. I think it was brief, but I do think it said.
But
like,
he does kind of creep on Haley Joel Osment.
You know,
what was that about?
I personally wouldn't stalk future patients.
That's weird.
You know, public places, and and he says like a throwaway line because. Basically, Cole, like, this 7-year-old's running around Philly. I mean, he's Kevin McAllister.
He really is.
Toni Collette's working 2 jobs. She's busy. He's got to figure it out.
She's working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living.
She fucking is. And so he runs to a church, and you're like, that's cool. And he's just, like, hanging out with action figures. And Bruce Willis goes and starts talking to him, and he's like, hey, so anyway, I'm your new therapist, and I'm sorry I missed your appointment. And it's just, like, a very, like, casual line, and you're just like, I guess that's like believable. But then when you know he's a ghost, you're like, oh, he missed it because he's like a dead guy, because he's like dead.
You know what I was thinking to myself? If you're Cole and you're like, motherfucker, my therapist died, who I was supposed to go to talk about dead people, and now he's gonna show up and haunt me,
like, son of a bitch.
This is so horrible.
Oh God, yeah. And it's just like, I don't know, at first he's kind of like, you can't help me, gotta go. And then Bruce Willis is like, what an odd child, my God.
Well, he seems so anxious. He's so like, and he's so little and skinny and anxious, and you're just like, oh, this poor little kid. And he's like playing in a church all by himself. I'm like, oh, and his friends make fun of him. That stupid Tommy.
Oh, I hate that kid. He's a jerk. He's a frenemy.
He had a really fun subplot that he was like in a cough syrup commercial and thought he was a great actor.
My
that
God.
was so funny.
And then they show the entire cough syrup commercial.
I love it.
Like, what the fuck is going on?
I love it.
Cole steals a Jesus figurine also from church, and I was like, Dairy Girls would approve, Cole.
They would approve. Although, to be honest, if I was a little kid and ghosts kept popping up, I would run into my little church tent.
Yeah.
Whatever. I would take every possible religious statue and put it in a place and hide. That's exactly what I would do.
Did that.
Yeah.
It didn't work though, unfortunately. But
they really just kept coming in.
There were a lot of ghosts, I know. I'm like, oh my God. We do meet Toni Collette, and her introduction.
She's so good.
They do a nod to Poltergeist. Did you recognize that one scene? Where Toni Collette with the cabinets. Yeah, that was cool. The cabinets open mysteriously, and we do a tracking shot, so there's no way all those cabinets would open. And she goes, Cole, you looking for something? And Cole's like, he's like sweating. And he keeps lying to her because he doesn't want to tell her he's seeing ghosts. So he goes, yeah, Pop-Tarts. And she's like, Cole, they're right here. I was like, oh,
they
guys.
had a beautiful relationship.
I know, I loved them so much.
Because to be honest, if I had a little kid who, like, I don't know, was like off and I just couldn't figure it out, like, it's like, you're not going to be mean to that kid. You're going to be like, literally, what is going on? And there's so many scenes in the film where she's like, it's just us, dude.
Yeah.
If we can't talk, we're never going to make it. And I'm like, oh my God. Also, Abbott Elementary, also famous Philly show.
Yeah.
Who is the redhead teacher?
What's her name?
Yeah.
Oh God.
That was the vibe I got for Toni Collette.
Yeah. Oh,
because
God. Why can't I think of it?
There is a Philly, if you have lived in Philly, if you know Philly, there is like a Philly vibe. Her accent, she could have had a little like home phone.
Reese's Pieces.
A little, but she had like a cooler, I don't know.
Melissa Schimenti.
Okay,
yeah.
Toni Collette and Melissa Schimenti.
Yeah.
We're working those two jobs together.
They got the nails, they got the hair, they got it all. You know, if I was Toni Collette, I would have been like, Cole, be honest. Do you have psychic abilities? Because that's like pretty cool.
Are you Carrie?
Are you
Carrie?
You do have the Jesus statue, so you want to talk about it? All right, I don't know.
But the creepy him making drawings of dead people and then writing all this dead stuff. I mean, then I would be like, oh, my kid is like schizophrenic or something, right? What would you think?
I mean, that is like what everybody I think thinks. And that's what Bruce Willis thinks too when he first meets him. And I fucking love the scene where it's Bruce Willis is in their house and he's sitting across from Toni Collette. And so it's kind, you know, it looks like it's the two of them together consensually waiting.
It's so good.
And then Cole comes home and the mom's like, hey, Cole, bloody blue blue. And they're just chit chatting. And then she says to him, she's like, I'm going to go make you some food. And she goes, you got an hour. And as so if like good. You could, because it could be like, oh, you have an hour with this man because it's a therapy session.
So
but
good.
She just meant it's going to be an hour till food, guys.
So good.
And Cole doesn't want to talk because he's like, if I talk, she's going to hear me and think I'm talking to myself, and that's crazy. So they do the whole thing where he's like, you don't have to talk, just step towards me if I get something about you right, or step away, you know. And then that kind of like
it's so
connected. It's so good.
It's so freaking good. And I noticed too that even with scenes with his wife, every now and then they would look directly at Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Just really, really, really subtle. Because like, I don't know, let me tell you, if I was a ghost and my husband was ignoring me,
well,
I'm like, hello. Hello. I'd be like in his fucking face, like, honey, what the fuck can't you see?
Opening I'd start punching all the cabinets. I would push
him. I would punch him. I'd be like, God. Excuse me. I would get Penny. I'd be like, Penny, bark at him.
Hurry.
And then I'd be like, shit, I'm invisible. Fuck. I would learn it very quickly.
Have you ever seen the meme where it's like, damn, can you imagine, you know, Bruce Willis from The Sixth Sense. Could you just imagine if you were dead, but you kept going to work because you thought you were alive? That sucks. And I was like, that does suck.
Sucks.
He spends like weeks like working in his afterlife.
I was thinking that. I was like, how long was this? And then I thought, how long do you just not talk to your wife?
Oh my God. Like
that's while you watch her like date another person. That's a lot.
They do like a weird kind of, I guess, it's not an explanation, but I guess it's like you're supposed to think this is what it is, where the wife makes a comment in the beginning, like when he is still alive, and she's like, you know, you work so much, sacrificing time with me, but you got this plaque. So that's that. So you're kind of like, okay, so he's working a lot, and like he keeps working. Like, damn, God, he's not getting paid.
Honestly, I think that's a Capricorn ghost. Like, I don't. So how sad. Unbelievable. I am on a beach. I'll be like, okay, I'm ghosting. I'm on a beach.
I'll be like,
do I get to have a pina colada?
I would treat it like Groundhog's Day. Like, what's the new hobby I'm gonna learn in my ghost life? You know, like I gotta go.
The one thing that I was a little like on the fence about, I'm like, so you're a ghost, but you could move stuff. Like you could open doors.
Yeah.
But you could also like hurt Cole. And I was like,
yeah.
Whoa, that's
Yeah.
like he has every right to be terrified because it's not like he can logically say, "Oh, they can't hurt me."
Yeah.
Like he's like has scratches on his back, and I'm like, well, that's kind of a new ghost rule because
We
I
don't
think
like
in most
it.
ghost rules, the ghosts are like invisible and they can go through walls, right?
Well, Bridge, there's lots of ghost lore. If
Tell
you
me.
really want the history of all the ghost lore. I mean,
Oh.
one typical thing that people think of with ghosts is that they stay in the place that they died, which sometimes in this movie that was the case.
Like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, but not all the time, because then he'd be like, people just keep coming to my house, like Mischa Barton throwing up in my tent, and she doesn't live near me. And I'm like, what the F? Like,
you
that
think
is
they're,
scary.
Do you think that's like a thing? It's like you're in the ghost world and you're like, I'm beefing with people in like the like alive world, and they're like, okay, there's about in this like Google Maps, there's a kid, there's a 7-year-old kid
who's
really
dinging
nervous.
on the map, right?
You could go there in Philly. You know, down the street is this guy Tyler, and across the way
there's like a Yelp
Susan.
review of like Cole did a great job of outing my Munchausen mom. Yeah. I'm sorry to bring it back to Casper Bridge, but a big subplot is that these ghosts have unfinished business. That was such a thing from Casper.
They
unfinished
do.
business. That's why they're all still around. They haven't moved
But
on yet.
I think that makes the most sense to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, that's a theory for like real life ghosts, is it's kind of like there's a reason that they're hanging around, and
it's pretty cool.
We may not know what it is. And yeah, I mean, sucks for Cole, man. This is definitely still part of the movie. We don't know what's going on. Bruce Willis does think he's got schizophrenia. He's having a rough time at school. He calls his teacher Stuttering Stanley. Not nice.
Yo, so you know what was kind of cool, though, is when he gets in the scuttle with the teacher, and he goes, don't look at me that way.
Yeah.
You shouldn't look at people that way. I was thinking to myself, like, this poor kid literally has, like, nobody believes me syndrome.
Yeah.
And it's, like, literally no one believes him. I'm like, oh my God, this poor soul. But how did he figure out about the Stuttering Stanley tidbit?
I thought that was, like, a ghost telling him it's Stuttering Stanley. And I was like, well, maybe he fucking was, and he's a jerk, so I don't know. Don't make fun of stutters, y'all, but still, Stuttering Stanley. And Bruce Willis. You know, it's funny when you see the Bruce Willis scenes because he really just does appear at just all these times that your therapist probably won't be there. Nobody's calling your therapist when the kid gets detention. Bruce Willis is not busting into the building. Guys, he's not going to be there when you later are in the hospital. Like, he's just there a lot. And again, he's really working for the employee of the month in the ghost world because
I think that's how he got the plaque. Do you think he gets a ghost plaque?
He better be from the ghost world of Philadelphia because he's earning that invisible ghost paycheck. I'll tell you.
True.
But they just talk about like, okay, what happened, bloody blue. And then this is like the birthday party. This is where it gets scary. Yeah. I think. Yeah. He gets bullied and locked in a scary little, like, it kind of looks like it's a dumbwaiter a la Harriet the Spy. Check that episode out. Okay.
Wow.
But it's scary in there, and he gets attacked. And literally all the people just stand there and are like crazy. And Toni Collette's the only one that's like, can we do something, people? Hello?
And I think it's like, he's screaming at the top of his lungs.
Oh.
Like, what's wrong with these kids? Like, get him out, you know?
Those kids need the therapist, people.
Also,
just want to point out, if you see a red balloon and it leads you to a scary door.
Oh, that's it rules.
That's the it rules. You
don't do it.
You don't follow the scary red balloon. You don't go in the sewer. You don't go in the dumbwaiter. You don't hang out with the bullies. No.
That scared me because we know from Bruce Willis looking at him that he had like scrapes on his arms. Mm-hmm. And then when you like heard the like evil ghost or whatever that's like, get me out of here, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, I hate it.
But you know what the truth is? Like when you really think about all this crazy shit, it's like wherever you live, like you don't know what crazy shit went down.
I'm still waiting for the dead body to appear in my home.
Okay,
I'm waiting for the day a bone sticks out of the floor. And I'm like, well, it took you long enough.
Honestly,
we're waiting.
The last family that lived in this house, they had their own piece of work thing, but nobody died that we know of. But before them, a couple lived here for most of their life, and I believe both died here. And I'm always like, are we respecting your home?
Right. Yeah, like, huh?
Do you like my design choices?
Right.
I love you.
What do you think of the paint color, guys?
But oh man, I'm telling you, it's like, I don't know. You really think about like old, like 1800s stuff. You're like, his whole thing of like, oh, and this, you said this used to be a courthouse, but it was really people that were getting like hung.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
And that's like the location. I mean, the location, M. Night is like from Philly. So he like does a lot of his movies based out of Philadelphia. But like the Philadelphia history, they talk about that. They're like, Philadelphia's got a lot of history. And Cole's like, yeah, and a lot of death. Da, 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 da.
Yo, like the penitentiary.
Oh, I love the penitentiary.
Terrifying.
Oh my God, it's so fun.
Okay.
I mean, scary.
Then we get some momentum because Cole's like, I trust Bruce Willis. This guy, and he even said, he's like, you seem like nice. Like the rest of them trying to scare the shit out of me. Mm-hmm. But you're like cool. So cool. Okay. And, you know, he starts to be like, I might start to like tell you my thing. Yeah. But this is when Bruce Willis is like, listen, my family life is a wreck. My wife is cheating on me right in front of me. Right?
No, not yet.
Oh, wait, what's before that?
No, because he tells him he can see dead people. This is the part where he goes to the hospital after the birthday party.
That's right. That's right.
And this is the very iconic, he's like in a little blankie bundle and he's just like sitting there sad, and Bruce Willis is like, I'm here too, Cole. I am everywhere and everything. Don't question it.
Do you know when they filmed that, it actually was cold? That's like not CGI.
Oh.
So they would just put like, so he probably was like freezing the whole time.
Well, give Cole a bigger blankie because it wasn't enough. And he's like, I'm ready to tell you my secret now. And then Bruce is like, shoot, Tiger, let's fucking hear it. That's when he's like, I see dead people. And Bruce is like,
Katie, what would you do if someone said that to you?
I'd be like, did you see The Sixth Sense? Because I cried a lot in it. How'd you feel about that? What was your stars? Would you rate it out of 10? But he kind of says more pieces to it that I don't think we would necessarily know if he doesn't say that. He says they don't know they're dead. And he says they see what they want to see.
Yeah.
And there's kind of talk, too, about, like, how time is different, which Bruce Willis makes mention of, where he's like, I'm, like, losing track of time. I can't keep track of time. Like, he says to his wife to be like, sorry, I'm late again, and whatever. But that's, like, a piece of it for the dead people. So, not good. And literally from that point on, you start to see, like, billions of, like, you actually see the dead people as Cole sees them, which is... This is where it gets, like, spoopier.
We see the kid who clearly used his dad's gun.
Kid with the gun.
Himself.
We see there are
the
people...
housewife who committed suicide or completed suicide.
Yeah, we see people hanging in his school. We see Mischa Barton throwing up at one point. Oh my God. And it's just bad. But within here is when Bruce Willis is like, I gotta chill.
That's right.
Because my wife, like, poor my wife. Like, his wife, like, works at an antique shop? Question mark?
I think so. Well, she was selling an antique ring, but I was like, is this a jewelry store? I don't know.
Yeah. And then she's, like, making out with her employee?
I guess. I don't know.
Where's HR? It's not good. And Bruce is like, I'm sad about that, but let me revisit the tapes from Donnie Wahlberg. And that's when he hears like a Spanish speaking voice that's not Donnie Wahlberg on his session when he's like, uh-oh, that's a ghost. And there's a line that Cole says because he like meets back up with him and he's basically like, all right, Cole, I do believe you, I guess, because I had like a fucking freak out. And Cole goes, you wigging out?
Yeah.
And I was like, we're all wigging out, Cole.
He was funny about that.
He's like, so funny.
Yeah. Oh, you believe me?
Oh, you didn't believe the 7-year-old, did you? I know more than you.
Hi.
Yes.
But that one moment where he was like, you can't leave me. I finally like told my secret and believed you.
God.
I cried a lot.
I was upset.
Like, this poor fucking kid is got in the pits for a situation here, you know?
I know.
Like, the pits.
I know. He's so good.
Damn, he was so good. You know, although, Kate, I get a little distracted by the details. But
okay. Whose outfit? Whose outfit?
It was his teeth. It was like his shape of his teeth and the retainer and the bottom.
He did have a bottom retainer. I noticed that.
Like, there's just it's a little distracting, but then it made him look like such a kid too. I don't know. So
he
that
was a kid.
That kind of threw me off a little bit.
A kid who sees dead people. But this is where Bruce Willis is like, let's take a new perspective, Cole. Why are you seeing, like, you know, it's very therapy where it's like, let's start asking why. And you're going to answer, not me, because that's what therapy is. And he's like, why do you think they're coming to you? And he's like, to be scary. And he's like, really? Or maybe something else. He's like, well, I don't know. And Mischa Barton is our little ghost that's like kind of comes to him and she scares him, but he asks her, he's like, what do you want me to know? Like and then she like tells him, and then we go on a road trip through Philly. On a bus with ghost Bruce Willis.
Well, and I was thinking to myself, is anybody watching this little kid?
Nope.
Just like travel along?
Yeah, he's by himself on the Philly bus.
So you're telling me Bruce Willis gets to get shot and then he's like gravy baby walking around. But why is Mischa Barton gotta be throwing up when she's in a ghost?
I guess because that's how she died. And like he got shot and they see what they want to see, Bridge. I don't know.
Damn.
I don't know. But I do think it's funny that he's like, listen, Bruce, here's the plan. We're crashing a wake. Don't worry. Nobody's going to question me. Nobody questions him at all. Hello?
Yes.
They're like, come on in, 7-year-old we've never met before. Don't worry. We don't care if you have an adult with you. And he goes in her room. Again, nobody cares. And he finds a little hidden videotape that she took when she was still alive. And it captured her mom being abusive and feeding her pine saw, which kept her sick. And then she died. Terrible.
I so vividly remember that scene with the dad watching it and being like, you kept her sick.
It's people like do that. It's like so scary.
I don't know, like watching it now, I was like, oh my god, like your kid, you would like poison your kid?
Yeah.
To death?
Did you also notice what that mom was wearing?
No.
She was the only person not wearing black at her child's wake. She was wearing bright red so everyone could see her. Munchausen by proxy. It's the biggest attention getter ever. When you have to, you have a kid. Oh, my poor kid. Everybody look at me and feel bad for me. Yeah.
Well, and I think the thing that was so beautiful is like protecting the little daughter.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully. Jesus. Yeah, because we're kind of like, bye. Good luck with all that info. Hope you call the police. And
a videotape is the best thing, though, because it's like
physical evidence.
If it was anything else, it'd be like, who the fuck is this kid? You know, what are you talking about? But a videotape, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cole's like, we're getting the fuck out of here, Bruce, because I ain't trying to talk to the police about my shit. We gotta go.
Yeah.
I also made a note that Cole's school does like 87,000 plays. It's like there's a play a week. And I was like, is this the school from Fame? Like, what? They just do so many plays. And the one they do at the end is like, Cole gets to be the little stable
King
boy
Arthur.
who pulls the sword from the stone. And I was like, wow, it's a metaphor. We get it. M. Night. Oh my God.
But like, I loved it.
I mean, I loved it. But then that's the scene where Bruce is like, I think we're done together. We said all that's needed to be said. Personally, I wouldn't agree with that, but I'm not a ghost therapist, so what the hell do I know? And Cole's like, yeah, deuces, I guess.
I don't know as a ghost if I'd want to like hang out with my family that doesn't like see me, if I could like go somewhere else.
Well, and at this point, Bruce Willis still does not know he's a ghost, but Cole knows he's a ghost. So I feel like Cole was kind of like, yeah, like do your unfinished business. That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Are we on the same page with that? Okay, cool. Yeah, you go do that. Because he tells him, he goes, I think you can talk to your wife when she's sleeping.
Yeah.
And so Bruce is like, I guess I'll do that, 7-year-old.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I cried at that part. I was like, oh, Cole and Bruce, best friends. And then Bruce was like, I think it's time you tell your mom. And Cole's like, son of a bitch. You're right.
First of all, telling your mom while she's stuck in a car and a dead lady's outside your window. What a move.
The stakes are high. Okay. But you are like trapped together. So it's not a terrible time, I suppose.
Oh.
She can't like leave the room, you know? And she doesn't really believe him at first, but then he talks about how Grandma saw you dance and she loves you. And Tony's like, Grandma, you do see dead people. Oh my God. I want to see grandparent ghosts.
Oh,
like,
I love it.
That would be great.
Are you listening?
Hello?
We'll say hey.
I always wanted to see Grandpa Ghost because he did pass away in our basement.
Yeah.
But no, he was never there.
He's got to go hang with his crew, you know?
Yeah.
He had some ladies waiting for him.
Yeah, multiple, yes. Yeah, and it's cute how they end that because it's kind of like Cole and the mom are like,
It's beautiful.
we're on the same team. We love each other. It is like a little scary, but like, ugh, I believe you, and that's all that matters. And you're like, that's the best ending to that.
It's the best
to that
ending.
story.
It's the best ending. I did a lot of tears.
I did too.
A lot of like love tears, scary tears, healing tears.
And then the Bruce Willis subplot is he goes to talk to his wife, but before he does that, she drops a wedding ring and he looks at her finger and she's already wearing her wedding ring, and then he lifts up into the frame his finger, and I just fucking love the editing in this part. You
So
hear
good.
Cole saying the same shit. I see dead people. They don't know they're dead. And you're like, ah, it's so good.
It's
oh
so
my
good.
God. And then he starts looking around and he's like, they see what they want to see. He imagined they were at a restaurant and she was really at home eating alone. He imagined like the door being locked, but really there was like a bookcase in front of it. Like, oh my God. It was so fucking good. Just,
I never
just well
connected
done.
those two things.
Yeah. He sees
She
what he
wasn't at
wants
the
to
restaurant?
see. No. He sees what he wants to see.
Huh. I don't think I made that connection.
Yeah, because they showed like she sat alone
Yeah.
at the house, and then that's when it did the flashback to the
Wow.
restaurant. Oh my God. And then he finds the blood on himself, and then he still talks to her though, and he's basically like, love you, I think I can go now. And she's like, love you, bye. And he's like, I'll turn up the thermostat. Bye.
Wow.
And then she probably bones that other guy. Who knows? I don't. Sorry, is that Killjoy at the end there? But
You know what though would be really cool is like Haley Joel Osment being like a famous, like medium or whatever. I would come back for that, The Sixth Sense too, where he like teaches other kids and like just becomes baller.
See, if it was done closer to when this movie came out, which I guess you couldn't really do because Haley Joel Osment was little. I just feel like M. Night's gotten to this place where he's just a little... He hasn't ever made anything as magical as this. Signs, I love. I love Signs. I'm a big Signs fan. It has its flaws. Signs is not this movie. I could argue is a
perfect movie.
Yeah. Like, it's just nothing is ever close to it,
good.
and I don't think anything's ever going to be close to it again that he makes. So I would be very nervous if he's like, hey guys, let's do a sequel.
Hey, we never know. You never know. Surprise us.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Well.
Clearly,
watch or don't watch it. We're both watching it.
I'm watching it. And if I watch with, someone who's never seen it, I hope that they don't figure it out like our sister Mary did that one time. Because, like, what the fuck?
Mary. She's like, I Googled it. I know the answer.
She literally was like, oh, yeah, isn't he, like, dead? And I was like, ah! And she's like, oh, that's wrong. And I was like, just watch the movie. She's like, oh, jeez.
I could see you being so mad.
I was so mad. so fucking mad.
All right, what's my motherfucking pick?
Oh,
Kate?
yeah.
Are you ready to do the exact opposite?
Oh,
of the
I thought you were going to be like the exact same thing. And I was like, yeah, maybe. What is it? Okay, opposite. What's opposite?
Oh, but we only go up 1 year, 2000.
Oh.
This is something I've been thinking about for a while. It is not a listener pick.
It's not Snow Day. We did that already.
Listeners, give us more picks because we need some variety, okay? And
Bridget.
some of you
Bridget wants
have
the picks.
suggested things that already exist. So we need some new, fresh stuff, okay? This one is a comedy drama.
Okay. Drama.
I can't, say the other sentence.
Mm.
But it's, it's at a cool bar. We're in New York City.
Is there music?
There's music.
Is there Tyra Banks.
There's Tyra Banks.
Oh my God! Is it Coyote Ugly?
It's Coyote Ugly.
Yes!
Hard tonight.
Oh!
You can try to resist. Not to hide from my kiss.
But you
But
know.
you know, don't you know that you
What's her
can't
name?
stop the moonlight.
Faith Hill? No, not Faith Hill. What the hell was the name of the lady?
Leanne Rimes.
Leanne Rimes! Yes! Oh my God.
This is a cult classic.
Wow.
And boy, oh boy, does it have a ridiculous plot and cast and whatever. We're going to watch some ladies dance at a bar and be silly because you know what? Shit is way too sad. So let's live in a fantasy.
We got John Goodman.
Yep.
That's the only actor I can name off the top of my head from this movie. And we got the main star who's definitely been in stuff and I just don't know her name. She's there too.
Yeah, I don't know actually.
The blonde one. Yeah. Wow. We used to own this on VHS. That was definitely your movie.
Viola. I feel like the name was Viola. Is that right?
Maybe. The love interest was like Australian and you're like,
Viola.
why? Why are you?
Aspiring singer.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is going to be so absurd.
Oh, it's so 2000s. Oh,
and then,
my
like,
God.
remember how we all dressed like this and danced on bars?
Did I? Well, actually, I did do that.
And by the way, there is a Coyote Ugly
life.
saloon. That's like a thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's how like this came about. Is there was bars where women did this,
which is just really fucking funny because you're like, guys, like, what? All right.
And by the way, it's in New York. I'm gonna send you this picture. It's in New York. I think I've absolutely been there.
Did you dance in the bar?
I'm sure I did, but
Wow.
I think it's like the people that work there are like better at dancing and they do it.
Like Tyra Banks is like, I'm here dancing.
Kind of.
Because I'm Tyra. Oh, God, that is not a good picture on the outside. Oh, guess what year it fucking opened, Bridge? Okay? 1993.
1993.
It's the best year for movies and Coyote Uglies. Yes. They have one in New York and Las Vegas. I was going to say, I feel like I've seen it in like New Orleans.
Yeah,
They have one in New
Vegas
Orleans.
tracks.
Now they got it. Nashville, Memphis. Oh, yeah. All the cities.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that lady's in her bra. Wow. Do they get tips? I guess they do because they're like bartenders. Yeah. Wow. Good pick, Bridge. We'll be watching that, and I'm not gonna wear a belly shirt for it. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, clearly you're not putting in the effort.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll bring a drink. I don't know.
Listen, Kate,
Bridge.
if you did see dead people, and I was one of them,
Bridge. No.
and you were so. This is like when we're old and gray, okay? And we're not gonna win. And you were so sick of me. I just want to let you know you could be very direct with me.
Be like,
You could be like,
Bridget.
bitch, you're dead. I could see dead people. You're annoying me. I gotta go.
No, I
And
can't
I'd
do
say,
that.
I'm so sorry, Katie. I'm gonna get out of your hair. I love you. Bye-bye.
I would never tell you you're dead because I'd be like, okay, so now
We have to
because
podcast.
we got to do another episode, Bridge, because the recordings do pick up your voice.
My volume
And,
is like 4,000.
And be like, Bridge, your sense of time, you forgot we podcasted yesterday? Too bad, we're doing it again. Here we go. Oh, God.
Sisters Who've Seen It has a record 50,000 episodes with Ghost
Yes,
Sister.
That's right. The Sisters Who Ghost Sisters seen it. Well, Bridge, I just want to say, if baby Kate comes to you one day and she says, Ma, I see dead people, I would materialize and be like, Bridge, we gotta believe her. Okay? And we need
I'm a
to
believer.
let's be ghost therapists, okay? And get her on a talk show, write a book, get her own podcast, hook her up with Danella, and we're gonna do this because she's gonna help the ghosts because she's great and we
Katie,
believe her and love
I
her.
don't want you to get cursed. It's
Dawn.
Dawnia.
Sorry.
If you call her,
I'm so
the candle name again. Okay.
Dawnia, I'm sorry.
I love that, and I really think that was for me.
It
So
was.
I love that.
It's for baby Kate, really, because we want
Which is always for me.
We want to empower her.
Do I get to wear the wig like Toni Collette?
Yeah. Oh my God, I'll get you the press-on nails. Yeah.
Oh, girl.
I'll get you the zebra print zip up top.
Yes.
Melissa Chamente. Oh, wow.
Hey.
Well, and listeners, if you also think that seeing dead people probably would be scary, but like, I don't know, someone else to talk to, if they're not scratching me, well, maybe
they need
it's not
help
so
with their
bad.
unfinished business.
Yeah, empathy. Y'all ever heard of it? And if you think that Haley Joel Osment should have been nominated for a Kid Oscar. All right.
Wow.
Too old for a Bosker, baby Oscar, but a Coscar,
True.
that could have been him. Toni Collette should also have already won multiple Oscars, but here we are. And should we write a letter to someone? I'm ready. I'm ready to complain. Okay.
Let's do it.
If you think all that, you should write us a review. We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts, along with some other podcasting apps. And we also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So there is a form you can fill out. Your request goes on a list. And we look at the list every now and then. And we will do it eventually. Bridget wants requests.
I want them.
She wants some. So, do some. We do have some on a list. But, there's others that...
Okay.
Yeah. But y'all put whatever. What comes to mind? Think about that.
What are we missing? Because we're getting to so many movies, it's hard to know what we're missing.
It's been a lot. This is a lot of movies. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
They can give us money.
Woo!
They can buy merchandise.
Woo!
They can see dead people.
Get on there. They're on there, apparently. Take a picture. Oh, wow. Yes, so check all that out, listeners. And we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week for Coyote Ugly.
You can try to resist
the kiss. No, but she didn't write that song. She just didn't write that song, you know?
I don't know.
You'll know next
Coyote
week,
Ugly, guys. Let's just
we'll be
live
there.
in fantasies. I love you.
Love
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
I love you.
Say hi to the dead people. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, Bruce. Bruce, you're dead. Go home, Bruce. I love you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.